Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NFL Thoughts. Alright, so I know what you're probably asking. What the fluff am I doing with a journal in my hand, a notebook? Well, you see, my laptop, y'all saw me on this yesterday. Well, all of a sudden, now it's just messed up. The screen is messed up. So, it is what it is. I promised I didn't do anything to it. For some reason, I turn it on and all of a sudden the screen is messed up. Yeah, I know I said all of a sudden, but I'm telling you, man, like, I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. So, for the time being, until I buy myself a more convenient electronic device, which is a tablet, I'm gonna get myself that. For the time being, we got this. NFL Week 8 predictions. So, Ravens versus Buccaneers. Buccaneers are trash. They just lost to the 1-4 Steelers and the 1-5 Carolina Panthers, who are both 2-5 now. Thanks to you guys. Thanks a lot. And that loss to the Panthers is like, okay, the Mike Tomlin, I can understand that. I don't know how he does it, but for some reason, Mike Tomlin loses against all the teams he should be beating, but then he beats the teams that he should be losing to. I don't understand. But that's basically what it's always like. And it gets on my nerves, but that's Mike Tomlin for you. So I can understand that. We're talking about the Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, bro. So, yeah, Buccaneers are trash. They're not going to the playoffs. You know, I hate to say it because I want to get another crack at Tom Brady again, but we're not playing. Buccaneers are not making the playoffs. I don't care. Falcons honestly, the Falcons are probably going to win this division. They might, because the Buccaneers are just trash. Tom Brady's trash. Broncos versus the Jaguars. I know that this seems like a tough question, a tough decision, but it's really not. The Broncos have been terrible, and at least the Jaguars have shown like a little bit of heart in their losses. And when their 2 wins, they won them in convincing fashion. They beat the Colts 24-0, and they beat the Chargers with Justin Herbert 38-10. So they at least have shown some heart in their losses and shown some true dominance in their wins. Broncos have lost close, and then, well, they've also lost close, but still the losses have looked, it seems like the wins have looked way worse than the losses. So the Jaguars are a better 2-5 team than the Broncos. I'm going to go Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence, at some point, Trevor Lawrence has got to, at some point he's got to, turn this all around, so, yeah. Dolphins versus Lions. It's like, this is the NFL, so you kind of have to expect the unexpected. But I'll be quite honest with you. The Dolphins might blow the Lions out because That's just what the Lions do. They win close games, but then they'll turn around and probably get blown out the next week. And they've been getting blown out the past couple of games. But I got Dolphins. This looks like a game that Tua and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to have that connection. So Panthers versus Falcons. I've got Falcons. They just look far more superior than the Panthers, so I'm going to go Falcons. And then Cardinals versus Vikings. This should be a shootout. This should be an offensive shootout. DeAndre Hopkins obviously came back last week, and he looked like he picked up right where he left off. 10 catches, 103 yards, and Cardinals put up 42 points, and he was kind of getting them down the field. So the Cardinals offense should be improved now with obviously an extra weapon. So they don't have Hollywood Brown, unfortunately. He got injured. But I think he'll be back, maybe. But yeah, getting DeAndre Hopkins back definitely helps your situation. But the Vikings, they just fared to be too much, in my opinion. I feel like they are too much, but I do think that this will be a high-scoring game. But the Vikings are going to come out on top. And there's just something about US Bank Stadium that it just kind of gives me chills down my spine. So, yeah, I'm going to go Vikings over the Cardinals. Bears versus the Cowboys. Cowboys. I actually thought that this might be a game that the defense might struggle against Justin Fields, but nah, forget that. Defense is putting the clamps on Justin Fields, and as long as we can stop their run and force them in passing situations, oh yeah, we got this. We got this. Raiders versus the Saints. I've got Raiders. The Saints have not won a single game at home. And for the most part, they really have not looked very impressive in any of their games. You think back to week 1 against the Falcons, where they had to come from behind, from down 16 against the Falcons. And if you are a team that I have favored to win the NFC South and you struggle to beat the Falcons, that was the red flag right there that, you know what, maybe the Saints are not as good as I thought. So since then, yeah, and then they haven't won a single game at home yet. So I got to give the nod to the Raiders. They do have the better offensive firepower, and I think Max Crosby might have a field day on the Saints offensive line, and Andy Dalton. So I got the Raiders in this game. Steelers versus Eagles. Now, you can call me a biased Eagles hater, but this looks like a game that Mike Tomlin can get this team woken up for and get them riled up for. A game that they should have the most to lose. Well, a game that they should have nothing to lose because everybody's already picking them to lose this game. There's just something about Mike Tomlin. Here's the thing. If you want to get a formula to beat the Eagles, Mike Tomlin, here's what you do. You keep the game as tight as possible. So that way that makes the Eagles be a lot hesitant about whether they're going to run the football or not. Because the thing about them is that they get up on their opponents in these games. They get a big lead and they run the football. They run the football and Jalen Hurts barely has to do anything. And they just sit on that lead. Well, if you keep the game close and make them hesitant about running the football and end up making it a more balanced game to where they have to pass more than they usually do, to where it goes from 40-60 between the pass and the run to all of a sudden it's 50-50 or 51-49. So put the game in a situation where Jalen Hurts is going to have to beat you. And also blitz him. Blitz him. Because that works too. And this is my upset pick of the week. I have the Steelers beating the Eagles and beating the last unbeaten. Patriots versus the Jets. Now, I thought that this is a game that Belichick and the Patriots should win because he normally does well against the Jets. I thought that before I saw them play against the Bears on Monday night. So I'm actually going to go Jets on this one. I'm going to go Jets. Hey man, it's Jet season. You know, New York, you got yourself two really good football teams. New York is lit right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go Jets. And on to the Titans versus Texans game. Titans are clearly the better team. And this is not one of those situations where an upset should happen. Like, no, this is a game that the Titans should win. Like, no. I don't care what this 2022 NFL season has been like. No, Titans should win this game. And by the way, I was wrong about Mike Vrabel. I thought that Mike Vrabel, like, his, job security was on the line after an 0-2 start, losing to the Giants and getting blown out by the Bills. I thought that his job security might be on the line. But I was wrong. They've now won 4 in a row, and it's about to be 5 in a row. And Mike Vrabel just might have very well gotten the Titans right back in this tournament as one of the best teams in the AFC again. So I'm going to go Titans. Giants versus Seahawks. Both of these teams have really good running games, really good rushing attacks. Their problem is that they're both bad at stopping the run. But at the end of the day, this game comes down to one thing and one thing only. Which team has the better quarterback? Which team has the quarterback that's going to make those plays when they really need to make them? And I think that Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, my fault. Geno Smith, I believe, will make those plays for Seattle. And I don't think anybody can really trust Daniel Jones in a game like this where he's going to have to make some plays when he really needs to make them. I don't think he's making them, but Geno Smith certainly is. He's shown it this year. 11 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, over 1,400 yards passing. They're doing what Pete Carroll wanted to do, but Russell Wilson did not want to do. He wanted to run the football. He wanted to also play great defense. Sadly, that has not been working out too well. The defense is one of the worst in the league. Speaking of defenses, the Giants have been overall solid defensively. They have a pretty good pass defense, but I think Geno Smith will be able to take care of that. And this game also comes down to home field advantage. Seattle's at home, and the 12th man is going to be loud as usual. So, yeah, I got Seahawks winning this. Not to say that I think the Giants are going to unravel from this point forward, but this just is a game that I think Seattle is going to want more and is going to win than the Giants. So I have the Seahawks winning this game. Then you got the Commanders versus the Colts. So I thought that Nick Foles was going to be starting this game for Indianapolis now that they're benching Matt Ryan, but apparently I was wrong again, just like I was about Mike Vrabel. No, apparently they're starting some rookie. I don't know. They're starting some rookie. And I think that the Commanders have the talent. They have a solid quarterback. He's pretty decent, Taylor Heineke. He's got way more experience than whoever the Colts quarterback is going to be. I know that much. So that's the thing. Like, the Commanders have talent. They have talented players, but the problem in this game is going to be the coaching. How is the coaching going to be in this game? But you know what? I'm picking the Commanders by default here with the fact that the Colts are starting a rookie quarterback in this game. If this was Matt Ryan, I probably would have thought a little differently. If this was Nick Foles, same thing. But because they have a rookie starting this game now, and they're not going to be playing Nick Foles, I'm going to go Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to win their third straight game to get back to 500. 49ers versus the Rams. Okay, the Rams, they got 99 problems, and the 49ers are definitely one. The 49ers have owned the Rams over the course of the last 2 or 3 years, and Sean McVay has had no answer for Kyle Shanahan. So yeah, I'm gonna go 49ers. And the last time these two teams met, the 49ers for the most part, they had controlled this game the entire way, and they won 24-9. Nothing much I have to say. Their defense is dominant. They haven't been the past 2 games, but I think they will against the Rams, who Matthew Stafford just might not be it. So I'm going to go 49ers. I think it might be a little closer, though, because the 49ers do have a lot more injuries than they did back when they played the Rams back when they played the Rams in week 4. So they have a lot more injuries. Matter of fact, I don't think Nick Bosa's playing, but I still think that, unfortunately, Rams, I feel like y'all been a struggling team thus far this year, that I'm going to have to say that y'all are still going to lose, but I think it's going to be closer, but the 49ers are going to win. Packers versus Bills. I know what Aaron Rodgers said in his post-game interview on Sunday after the game against the Commanders, but if you can't beat the Commanders, what makes you think you're going to be able to beat the Bills? So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Bills are going to have a party in Orchard Park, New York. And then on to Monday night between the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals have kicked stride, and Joe Burrow looks like he is back to being Joe Shiesty again. And they blew the doors off the Falcons on Sunday, and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, they all look like they're going to be on pace for over 1,000 yards this year. And they have no choice because they have no running game. Joe Mixon, they have no running game. But I think they'll be able to pass all over the yard in this game. Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney will try their best to get some pressure on Burrow against the worst offensive line in the league. But, And yeah, the Bengals do have a struggling run defense that the Browns, with the second ranked rushing attack in the league, will exploit. But I still got Bengals. Now, is there a chance that this might be a game that'll come down to the wire? Yeah. And let's be honest, primetime games this year have sucked for the most part. So I'm hoping that this game is going to be a interesting game for football fans to be able to watch. But I got Bengals for this game. So yeah, so those are my picks. I got Ravens over the Bucks. I got Jaguars over the Broncos. I got Dolphins over the Lions. Falcons over the Panthers. Vikings over the Cardinals. Cowboys over the Bears. Raiders over the Saints. Steelers to upset and knock off the undefeated Eagles. Jets to beat the Patriots. Titans to beat the Texans. Seahawks to beat the Giants. Commanders to beat the Colts. 49ers to beat the Rams. Bills to squash the Packers. And Bengals to beat the Browns. So that has been my time. And like, subscribe. This is NFL Thoughts out.